My favorite Richard story is we frequently went to lunch together because we served on a lot of boards together, and we had things that we needed to discuss outside the boardroom. And so one day he dropped me off at my office after lunch, and as he was leaving, a kid came roaring around the building through my drive-through and crashed into the side of his car. Well, you can imagine how that would terrify you. And so Richard stopped, got out and checked the kid over. Seeing that he wasn't hurt, picked up his bicycle that had been trashed, put it in the trunk of his car, took the kid, bought him a brand new bike, and then took the kid home. That's the Dick Johnson that most of us remember.
And to play on that, which was one of the great stories of Dick Johnson, and I think, Bill, you and I have talked about that over the years. Dick and I were at the Perry County plant, and I went down to work on some graphics, and so we rode down together, and we're out there in the middle of the warehouse, and this gentleman and his younger son must have been about 10 years old, come carrying what was a boom box, and came up to Richard and asked Richard if he would be interested in buying the boom box. He said, "This boom box is my son's boom box." And Richard said, "Well, why are you selling it?" And the gentleman said, "Well, you know, I need to raise some money so I can get enough gas to go to Zanesville to hunt a job." Richard said, "Oh, really?" So he immediately walked back into the office and asked me to come with him. And he gets on the phone and calls this company that I didn't even realize that he was actually involved in. Turned out he owned it. Him and Brad owned it. And told the manager of this business, "We need someone to work at this particular business, and I've got the gentleman to do it." And apparently there was a pause, and they must ask, "Well, who is the gentleman?" And Dick says, "Just one moment." He says, "What's your name, sir?" And Joe Smith. And, "Okay, it's Joe Smith." And he said, "He'll be there tomorrow. Give him the job." So he walked out. Dick walked out and said, "Well, how much money you want for that boom box?" And he says, $20. So Dick gave him the $20, said, "Keep the boom box. But by the way, here's a note. I want you to report there by 9 o'clock in the morning, and they'll have a job waiting on you." And this guy's eyes lit up like it was Christmas. And that's the kind of guy Dick Johnson was.
You know, I was thinking about Dick and this award, and I thought, and late one night I started writing some things down, and one of the things I was thinking about was this is an award that's for service, not sainthood, and Dick wasn't a saint any more than the rest of us are. But it's an award that one doesn't even strive to win. Instead, it serves as an example to emulate. And really, the measure of the tracks one leaves in the walk through life is really what this thing is all about. And there are real heroes in the world, and everywhere people strive to do good. And certainly, you know, Dick just did a world of good all the time. But to do good in the community that you work in, and then that you're recognized by the measurement of that work and how you walk through life, and measure that against how Dick walked through life, that's probably the honor of this.
I tell you, there isn't three of us, we'd do anything for that man.
Oh,
anything. That guy was top notch.